Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in this video I am going to talk about the new book that I got, and this one is super exciting, super interesting. And first let me show you the book, and it's the 48 Laws of Power. Now this book has always been on my list. Bookstagrammers के अकाउंट पे या फिर मीन्स दिस इज़ अ वेरी फेमस बुक एंड ऑथर इज़ ऑल्सो वेरी फेमस, इट्स रॉबर्ट ग्रीन. और इन्होंने और भी बहुत सारी बुक्स लिखी हैं जैसे कि मास्टरी, द आर्ट ऑफ सेडक्शन, द लॉज ऑफ ह्यूमन नेचर एंड मैनी मोर. ही इज़ अ वेरी फेमस राइटर एंड आई ऑलवेज वॉन्टेड टू रीड हिज बुक, बट मेरे पास ऑलरेडी बहुत सारी बुक्स हैं, ऑलरेडी बहुत सारी बुक्स थी, एंड तो इसलिए मुझे लगा कि अच्छा मैं अभी नहीं मंगवाती हूँ. Also these books are super thick, like you can see like how thick are these book. And it's not that कि बस book बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ी है या book बहुत thick है. It's not just that. If you see from inside, I mean, are you seeing? मेरी मैथ्स की बुक ऐसे होती थी, इतना पेज भरा हुआ है. Can you see? This was the reason why I was not getting this book. But one day I saw somewhere that this book is banned in prison. I was like, what? This book is banned in prison? I was intrigued and suddenly I just wanted to get this book. I'm so curious about everything, and I had so many books to read at that time, and I had decided that I will not order any book, but I just couldn't control it. I had to get this book. I mean, I had to know what is it that this book is banned in prison, like, what is there in this book. And I was so excited and I just ordered this book right away, and here it is now. Okay, so I googled online just to be sure, given that now I'm saying openly, okay, this book is banned. So it's not banned in all prisons, but in several US prisons. That's also something, like what is there with this book that it's banned. And so I started reading this book also, no matter how thick this book was. So normally what I do is, जैसे कोई बहुत बड़ी बुक आती है, बहुत मोटी बुक आती है, पहले तो मैं शॉक हो जाती हूँ. मुझे लगता है why did I get this book, like why didn't I do proper research, I should not have, I won't be able to read it, बिल्कुल like I'm demotivated. But because I had different curiosity for this book, I just picked it up and started reading this book. And I somewhere realized that why this book is banned, because this book is about strategizing. This book is about power techniques, and though some of the points in this book, not some but many points of this book are valid, they have been written in a negative connotation. So that is why this book is banned in the prison. That's what I think, as it is evident from the title, 48 Laws of Power. This book mein there are 48 laws, 48 different laws of power. Laws like you should never outshine your master, and उसके बाद उनके एग्जाम्पल्स दे रखे हैं कि हिस्ट्री में किसने आउटशाइन किया and how he was met with a terrible fate, and means how his master's death led to his downfall. एंड दूसरा एक काउंटर एग्जाम्पल दे रखा है जिन लोगों ने अपने मास्टर को और ऊपर उठाया एंड हाउ दैट हेल्प देम. सो दिस बुक इज लाइक ऑल दैट, हाउ यू कैन गेन मोर पावर इन टू द वर्ल्ड, हाउ यू कैन इम्प्रूव योर इमेज, हाउ यू कैन गेट पावर इन द सोसाइटी, एंड ऑल दैट. सो दे आर 48 laws and others like avoid stepping into a great man's shoe, and preach the need for change but never reform too much at once. I have not read the entire book. I have read a few chapters of it. Book बहुत बड़ी है, I agree with that, but it's interesting because हर chapter में there are two different stories. One is people who abided by this law, or people who followed this thing and how it helped them, and people who did not and how they had to suffer the consequences of that. I always like stories. I'm excited with that, and that's why I have been really enjoying reading fictions as well these days. So ऐसा नहीं है कि ये बुक बहुत बड़ी है, so it's going to be very difficult for you to read. No, this book is, you will be able to easily read through this book. Also it's going to be very interesting and काफ़ी कुछ आपको सीखने को भी मिलेगा. But this book is all about that. मैंने Instagram पे भी जैसे इस बुक के बारे में डाला था, like I posted a few points from this book, I think पैसेजेस एंड ऑल. सो वहाँ पे भी लोगों को लगा था कि इस बुक में जो भी चीज़ें लिखी हैं बहुत नेगेटिव हैं, क्योंकि वो लिखी इस तरीके से गई हैं Like, I'll give you some examples of those things. Like, I'll just, okay, like, be wary of your friend. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. So this one, now this point might be true, but the tone that has been written, people don't really like that. Next, like, keep people off balance and in the dark. Never reveal the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intention, it will be too late. So you are getting it. So this book is all about this. So this is another of the law. So इस बुक में यही सब है कि how you can strategize, how you can play those mind games, how you can manipulate other people. And that is why this book is banned in prison also, because power struggle, strategizing, and it will just help those criminals. But you don't have to do that. अगर आप ये book पढ़ रहे हो, you can also use it in positive sense, because जो theories दे रखी हैं, जो points दे रखे हैं, वो सही हैं. If you are using them negatively, तो वो अलग बात है. But अगर आप उससे बस human nature को समझ रहे हो और आप अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हो, बिकॉज लाइक जो दूसरा पॉइंट था कि यू शुड नेवर आउटशाइन योर मास्टर, सो दैट हैज़ बीन गिवन इन नेगेटिव टोन कि उससे आपका दे विल फील बैड और दे विल गेट एंग्री, दे विल फील जेलस, एंड देन उस सब से रिलेटेड है. बट ऑल्सो यू कैन लुक एट इट दिस वे दैट इफ समवन हैड टॉट यू समथिंग, देन यू शुड कीप देम अबव यू ओनली. यू शुड नॉट ट्राई टू आउटग्रो देम. It's just the way you look at things. So if you take it in a positive sense, or if you try to understand this thing, or using this book, if you try to understand human nature better, then this book can be used in positive sense as well. Okay, so I googled why this book is banned in prison, just so let's see why that is, though I pretty much told you, and means, but that was what I think. So let's just see what people on the internet think as well. Okay, so it has been written, this book is banned in prison for this only, because this book started being used in prison by gangs as manipulation guide. So वही इस book से लोगों को techniques आ गई दूसरों को manipulate करने की, strategize करने की, and how they can escape or how they can control other people and much more. So इस तरह का वो नहीं चाहते ना prison में. So get it now. This book was used as training material for mental warfare. Okay, cool. Prison administration began to think that inmates were learning too much about manipulation and power, so they banned it. So that's totally understandable now. And this was this curiosity only to understand this that I got this book. But it's clear, reading this book you'll obviously understand that. But it's up to you how you use the book, because this book gives amazing insights into human mind or human nature as well, and you'll learn a lot, because there are 48 laws, and per law there are 2 stories and how it helped them or how it didn't help them. So instead of doing all that power struggle manipulation, you can try to understand human nature from this book. You will get to read so many stories. I mean, that is why I love this book. That's why I am loving this book and going to read all the stories. I'm super excited. I mean, there are 48 laws on 96 stories. I mean, tell me about it. God. So this is the book that's banned in prison. Now I'm also very excited that I have the book that's banned in prison. I don't know, something about it just excites me or makes me feel like, oh, okay, I have this book. But I'm really the reason I'm enjoying this book is all the stories. There's also another thing, I'm super into history. मुझे सब जानना होता है कि ये क्या हुआ. स्कूल में भी people used to find history boring and I used to enjoy it. मुझे अच्छा लगता था जान के कहाँ पे हुआ, कैसे हुआ. एंड नेट पे भी इफ़ आई रीड एनीथिंग इन अ बुक अबाउट समथिंग हिस्टोरिकल, मैं पढ़ने लगती हूँ अच्छे से कि क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ. सुपर इनटू हिस्ट्री. और इस बुक में वही, बिकॉज ऑल द टेल्स आर फ्रॉम एंशिएंट टाइम ओनली, सुपर इंटरेस्टिंग. सो अगर आपको ह्यूमन नेचर के बारे में जानना है तो आप ये बुक पढ़ सकते हो. अगर आपको स्टोरीज अच्छी लगती हैं, डिफरेंट स्टोरीज, और बहुत छोटी छोटी हैं, बिकॉज इतनी सारी है ना, तो ऑब्वियसली पूरा पेज इतनी बड़ी थोड़ी ना हो सकती है. सो छोटी छोटी स्टोरीज हैं, और अगर आपको उसमें इंटरेस्ट है या फिर अगर आपको हिस्ट्री में इंटरेस्ट है तो you should definitely pick this book up, because itni सारी stories है ना, you'll be like thrilled, totally thrilled. And you can also say that I have the book that's banned in prison, so you can flex that as well. So yeah, this is the book, and I'm super happy, as you can see, getting this book.